we're back and we're talking about Carli Lloyd's retirement and my personal experiences with her as a player. What I remember about Carli Lloyd in our playing days, we were on the 2003-2004 U21 national team together, back-to-back champs. At the time when I look back at that team, it was very deep. And so we had Leslie Osborne, Lindsay Tarpley, Becky Sauerbrunn, Rachel Bueller, Natasha Kai, Sarah Huffman. The team was filled with talent. And some of the things that stand out to me about Carli are how hard she works off the field. Time and time again, people make the comment, she makes it herself, that she never cut corners. And I witnessed that. She took every piece of her game seriously, from, the warm-up to what she did on her own to the recovery. She took those things seriously. She also never hid when she was upset with something. And so, you could tell right away if Carli wasn't happy with something. And I think what got misconstrued is the fact that you could tell that she wasn't happy with something. I think the media twisted and contorted that to mean like she wasn't happy with the staff or she wasn't happy with her teammates. I never saw that. And so I can't say that I ever felt like, oh, she had such a bad attitude. I think that what was misconstrued is she was doing a lot of inward self-reflecting on her own game and maybe frustrated with certain parts of her game that, she wanted to be better. And she demanded such a high level of herself that the media kind of just ran with it and made it seem like she was this really negative, down and out Debbie Downer. And really she wasn't. Was she going through different things at different times? Of course. She was 26 years old. She was going through a lot of different things that we all go through, but we do it privately, where she was doing it publicly. What we saw of her on the soccer field, arguing with refs or, her facial gestures or whatever it was, that's a person in their most competitive spirit. And that's an intensity that belongs on the field. When you put in that much time and that much work, of course you want the game to go a certain way. Of course you're going to behave in certain ways. And yeah, maybe other people didn't make it as obvious or whatever. But, one thing that she says through and through, and so do her teammates, she was authentically herself. Why should she hide that she's frustrated? And why should she be overly criticized for it either? Off the field, we never really got to see who Carli was. She stayed out of the media for the most part. And so I just, know her one way: hardworking, super critical of herself, demanding so much of herself. And I do wish that people could have seen, how genuine she really is and how much she took to heart, every practice, every training, every comment, everything. And I think that you get to see more of that in her farewell, where she goes into depth about some of the things that, people write. And these are complete strangers. And she goes on to say that those things, hurt her and that they created pain for her. And I think that we need, as a society and as a soccer community, to be more conscious about, the things that we put online, the things that we speak out in social media, and remind ourselves that, our lives aren't being publicized and they're not being critiqued for every little thing. And to be in that limelight is a very difficult role to be in. And I think if we took anything away from her career, which had a lot of ups and downs, was, perseverance, because she persevered despite, starting and not starting, having, great appearances in World Cups, and then, missing a PK, and, all those things just speak, in my opinion, to the kind of player that she is, that, after a trial or, a tribulation, instead of retiring then or giving up then or walking away then or feeling defeated then, it really just fueled a bigger fire for her to come back more fierce, stronger, more effective. And so that's what I took away from her career. That's what I saw. And I think it's so unfortunate if people don't see that and they're so hypercritical of, these other aspects of her game. She's a great person, and I think she's an excellent role model for those players who are struggling with their confidence and have struggled with starting and not starting, having great performances and then having some performances you wish you could change. Those are the things that I reflect back on when I look at her overall career. It has been asked, do I have any funny stories? I do have one, and it's probably funnier to her than it was to me. I think it's funny now, but of course back then it was a little hot. So I can't remember what I did first, but I do know and take accountability for having started this little prank war. I think I wet her jersey or maybe her shorts or something. So she went to put it on. It wasn't completely dry. And of course I couldn't stop laughing. So she immediately knew that it was me. So, next day I go to get my shorts on, and I was having a weird hamstring issue. So I went to heat my hamstrings, and, obviously you're sitting on heat. It's hot. I'm thinking, gosh, that's like an unusual tingling kind of feeling. I don't usually feel that. But I don't know, maybe this heat is generating some other kind of healing, calming technique. And so I sit there for a little bit longer, and I'm thinking, now that is not regular kind of heat down there. What is happening? And I start to smell that Bengay smell. And so I realized that when I put my shorts on, they did feel a little damp. As I'm heating, I am starting to feel something a little unusual. And in walks Carli, just laughing her head off that she had put Bengay in the crotch of my shorts, and I was on fire. So yes, Carli got me back. I learned my lesson. Never start a prank war with her, because she will win. So thank you, Carli, for the amazing memories. Congratulations on such an amazing career. I wish you all the best.